AJ Dybantsa, the number one overall player in the country, has scheduled 6 official visits. The 6'9" small forward will begin his college tours with a trip to Kansas State on August 30th, followed up by Kansas on September 6th. He'll then take a couple weekends off and resume with a visit to North Carolina on September 20th, followed up by Bama on September 27th, Baylor on October 4th, and last but certainly not least is BYU on October 11th. AJ narrowed down his list of schools to those programs plus Auburn earlier this month. Something to keep in mind is that AJ has already taken an official visit to Bruce Pearl and the Tigers, and according to NCAA rules, a player cannot return for a second official visit to the same program. However, he could return for an unofficial trip to Auburn if he chooses. So everybody wants to know, where will AJ end up? Well, in speaking with sources, the way too early favorite for his services is BYU. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, why would a kid from Brockton, Mass. go to BYU? Well, I'll break it down. AJ recently announced he would be transferring to Utah Prep for his senior season, making BYU the now in-state program. The Cougars also just hired Kevin Young to lead their school, who most recently was the associate head coach for the Phoenix Suns, coaching guys like Kevin Durant. So the NBA experience is there. The final reason, an abundance of NIL resources for BYU players. Now, AJ has said that NIL is not the number one priority in his recruitment, but in speaking with sources, a player of his caliber could demand between $3 to $5 million through NIL, obviously life-changing money for the likely number one pick in the 2026 NBA draft. If AJ doesn't end up picking BYU, both Alabama and Auburn are two programs that I would watch. AJ has a long-standing relationship with Bama assistant coach Preston Murphy, and Bruce Pearl has made him an early and clear priority in the 2025 class. I also think that Jerome Tang and Kansas State are a sleeper here and should not be underestimated. And while AJ is a Nike-sponsored athlete, I think it would be unwise for me to count out Bill Self and Kansas, who are obviously Adidas. North Carolina and Baylor are also still in this fight. We will continue to monitor to see how this recruitment shifts as AJ goes on these visits. So stay tuned to On3 for all of your basketball recruiting needs.